Hey guys, it's Tesla, and I am here with an inspector. His name is Dennis, and I know when I first bought my own home, and I know from the first-time home buyers that I talk to, they have a lot of weird questions for inspectors, and they think they're dumb questions, but they're not. Because if you've never bought a house, you don't know these things. So I thought that I'll have Dennis here to answer my dumb questions, and hopefully he doesn't think less of me. So hi, Dennis.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So my name is Dennis Manolatos. I'm 30 years old and I'm a home inspector for my company, Beyond the Beams Home Inspectors.
Okay, so I actually do have a question. I've seen people call you professional engineers or inspectors. Is professional engineers the correct term? Are we like leaning away from inspectors now?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so we're not engineers, we're home inspectors.
Okay, so there's a difference?
Yeah, there is a difference.
Okay. All right, but you guys essentially do the same thing? Just one has this fancy title?
More or less, the fancy title for an engineer, they're more to do with structural of the whole home or commercial building.
Okay. All right. So tell me a little bit about the company Beyond Beams. Is that your company?
Yes, it is my company.
Okay, talk to me about it a little bit, how to get started.
All right, so how I got started, I decided to become a home inspector because I was in the restaurant industry and it wasn't truly fulfilling to me. I wanted a hands-on job where I could help others, and whether it would be a real estate agent or a home buyer. Initially, I was going to invest into a franchise. Thanks to an idea my brother-in-law gave me before starting anything, I went to school to become a licensed home inspector. I was trained by a professional who's been in the industry for over 15 years. He gave me a lot of insight on how the business works, which led me to want to open up my own home inspection business. This way, I could do things my way with the quality which I think my client deserves.
Are you the only inspector in your company?
Currently, yes, I am.
Okay. All right. And it's called Beyond the Beams, right?
Beyond the Beams Home Inspectors.
That's catchy. Now, I'm gonna ask you the dumb questions. Don't judge me.
No problem.
I don't think they're dumb questions. I think they're questions that people would ask. The first is, do I really need an inspection? Do I actually need an inspection before I buy a home?
You definitely do need an inspection. Getting an inspection is definitely a smart thing to do. And I view it as necessary. It can save you a lot of time, money, and stress. Inspections can help you locate any structural problems in the home. They can allow you to discover possible safety issues as electrical, fire hazards, and more. They will also help you to budget future maintenance costs, allowing you to save money and give you a peace of mind. We also educate the client on how to take care of their homes for the future as well.
So what would you say as an inspector are the top issues that you notice and the top issues you find important to home buyers?
The top issues that I usually see, definitely the roofing components. Usually you're only allowed 3 layers on top of a roof. So many of the homes that I do see, they usually have 3 layers, which you basically have to replace the whole roofing system. A lot of them are the water heaters and the boiler systems as well. Usually they're old and they have to be replaced. For the most part, that's the main part that I've seen.
Okay, and they can't just rely on the seller to say, oh, it only has 1 layer. I can't just do that.
No, you can never rely on the seller telling you that. Most sellers are honest. I have seen some of them. For instance, there was one recently where they told the client that the HVAC system just got replaced, and little did I know, I went into the attic and it must have been 25 years old.
Oh no.
Why? Yeah, they lied about it. I'm not sure why they did that, because as a home inspector, we're going to definitely do our due diligence and go and inspect it.
Yeah, for sure. So how much on average does an inspection cost?
On average, the pricing all depends. Cost can vary depending on exactly what you need to have done. The square footage of the home, it can vary as low as around 400. Depending on the packages and square footage, it could be around 1,000. Again, it all depends on what you're having done and the size of the home.
And when do buyers usually get an inspection?
Buyers usually get an inspection as soon as their offer is accepted.
Okay, so it's before they're under contract, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why? I mean, I know this answer, but I'm asking as a person who might be asking a dumb question. Why would it be before you actually get into contract? You have an idea?
Why would it be? Yeah.
Why would you get an inspection before you go into contract?
So you would want to get one before you go into contract. You know, this way an inspector can, again, like we were saying, locate any structural problems with the issue, any moisture that is coming into the home, any roofing system that may need to be changed. You know, these things can save you a lot of money, like we were talking about before. And it's good to just know what you're buying. You know, most people that are buying a home are not fully educated on a house. You know, it's not just something that you just buy, you paid for it, and, you know, let's say you're done. You have to continue to take care of the home, and doing so will help you save a lot of money over time.
Yeah, you definitely want to know what you're getting yourself into. And also, if you don't like something about the home, you need to do that before you actually buy it. If it's too much of a huge undertaking after you find out the inspection, your best bet is to go to another house. At least you have that choice. So that's why you do it before you go under contract. How long does it usually take for an inspection?
Usually takes around 2 to 3 hours. Again, depending on, you know, what you're having done to the home as an inspection. Let's say, you know, you want a termite inspection done and a thermal imaging of the home. It could take anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. Some homes, if they're smaller, can take about an hour and a half.
So what's that? What's the first? It's obvious, a termite inspection. But how do you actually detect termites?
As we're doing the inspection, let's say somebody includes a termite inspection, they want me to come in there with the home inspection package and do the termite. As I'm doing the home inspection, I'm locating any evidence that there may have been termites presence. And also when you see wood rot in a home, that's another indication that there may have been termites previously in the house. And then I would report that on my report.
And what about the thermal imaging? What's that?
So the thermal imaging, it's a good tool. It's a camera that basically can see where the eye can't see. Let's say there's a really serious moisture issue behind the wall. It will differentiate the temperatures. And also it may tell you as well if the house has proper insulation.
Okay, so
if an electrical panel,
you can see where it's drafty. That's what I care about. Like, am I going to be cold?
Exactly, yeah. Because you can't, typically a home inspection, you can't see past the walls. This device helps you to differentiate the temperatures. So if I take this and I scan it on a wall and I see that that whole wall is cold, I know as an inspector that it's insufficient insulation and that whole wall is completely cold, which will end up costing, when you turn on the heat, extra money because it's working harder than it should.
Yeah, and that's something, especially if you're like looking at a house in the summer, you won't know if it's cold.
Yeah.
That's why your name is clever, and it's beyond the beams. Look at you,
yes.
Clever. Does a buyer need to be there during your inspection?
So I would recommend the buyer being there. The buyer does not need to be there, but the good thing is that as the buyer is there, I can walk them through the home, showing them any issues I come across.
Okay, so it's definitely a recommend.
Yes.
I definitely recommend it as well. Now, I'm sure you've heard, and I'm sure you're pretty busy, that the market's kind of insane right now. And people are doing things like waiving inspection because they just want their offer to be accepted. I know you're an inspector, but if someone decides to waive their inspection, what are some things that on their own they can ask or look on their own to help them make a good decision on buying a home? Not that you're condoning doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
So I would say, as far as waiving the inspection, although I don't recommend it, if you were to, major key questions to ask yourself would be, how old is the home? How old is the roofing system? How old is the units in the home, such as the water heater system, the boilers, and the HVAC system? Those are really important things to ask. Again, it's very important that a home inspector does come and check these systems out, because you may not be able to find that information, because we take pictures and we go back home and we research anything to do with the home.
And when it comes to the age of the water heater, how old should they be? What's in a good age? When do they usually need to be replaced?
So typically a water heater lasts anywhere around 10 to 12 years. Again, as we put the age of some systems, they can go a lot longer. So if I go into a house and I see that the boiler system is around 10 years, I'm going to put in my report that, it's coming close to its life expectancy, but it could last, another 3-4 years, depending on how you take care of things. Some people take care of things better than others.
Okay. All right. Definitely the roof too. That's a good question. And also I found that asking where the oil tank is a good one.
Yes, that's definitely a huge one.
I learned that the hard way. So I feel like as an inspector, you see things. So I've seen you at work and I've seen you going into the attics and the basements. I am wondering, what's the grossest thing you've ever seen during an inspection?
All right, so I'm gonna be completely honest.
I'm so excited for this.
I'm a little afraid of bees, honestly.
Okay.
So one day I was climbing into an attic, and as soon as I got up there, there must have been around 100 bees flying around in the attic. So I immediately jumped down from the attic and I stopped that inspection and told them that they needed to get somebody in here to remove the bees from the attic, and then I could further inspect the attic.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's awful. Did you ever go back into that home?
Yes, I did.
Was it
After all the bees were gone.
Okay. Oh my God, was there a beehive up there? I guess.
Yeah, there was.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's frightening. Okay, that is pretty bad. Oh my God, it's really, really bad. So what's it's kind of the same question, but what's the most dangerous or craziest thing you've seen? Like a house that's about to collapse or something like that. I just find it's fascinating with inspectors that you probably find really dangerous things that this is dangerous. What's one of those things you found?
We don't always find that, but one of my most dangerous things that I've seen, it was a clear picture. You could see it from the outside of the home. It was the entire roofing system was honestly about to collapse and needed to be completely replaced.
Yeah. See, that stuff scares me, man. I think I told you the story that a buyer of mine, her friend, after she closed on her house, she heard noise in the attic and she found that a man was squatting there for several months.
Wow.
See, that's the kind of stuff that scares me. This is why you need to get an inspector. And I highly recommend Dennis. Are you on social? I think you are.
Yes, I am.
What's your social?
Yep. So on Instagram, it's @BeyondTheBeams_Home Inspectors.
And if someone wants an inspection, how do they contact you?
They can contact me through the website as well, which is www.beyondthebeams.com. And they can also take down my cell phone number, which is my business number, 718-406-1226.
And all this info is going to be in the little show notes underneath.
Yes.
Thank you for doing this. I know you were apprehensive because this is weird, but thank you. It's really, really helpful.
No problem. Thank you so much.
The moral of the story is to get an inspection done. I know we're super, super excited to buy a home and sometimes you want to waive it, but no way. I do not want to find bees in my attic after the fact.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dennis, so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Taz. I'll take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye.